Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, how will the Cowboys fare without Ezekiel Elliott against the Eagles on Sunday? Plus, Eric Dickerson joins the show to look ahead to the Rams' marquee matchup against the Vikings. And is it too early to panic over Lonzo Ball's struggles with the Lakers? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's start with Ezekiel Elliott. He has decided to drop any remaining appeals and will serve his full 6-game suspension. Elliott missed last week's game against the Falcons and will now be eligible to return Christmas Eve against the Seahawks. His representative said, quote, "This decision is in no way an admission of any wrongdoing." Shannon, are you surprised that Zeke dropped his appeal?
Absolutely not. As I told Skip before, this was going to be the outcome, whether it was before the season, during the season, or after the season, or next season. This was going to be the ultimate outcome. The CBA gives the commissioner broad powers. And it doesn't matter if Zeke is, it doesn't matter. It only matters to one person whether or not Zeke is innocent or guilty. And that man suspended him for 6 games. And because of the CBA says, not only can he suspend him, but he can also hear the appeal and suspend him again. There's no way he could win. All this was going to do was waste more of Zeke's time, more of Zeke's money, or the NFLPA's money, or Jerry Jones's money. This was all this was going to do. And it didn't make any sense for me. I was always wondering, like, okay, they're going to hear it again after 4 games, December 1st. And then you don't know when they're going to rule on it, make a decision then. So you just might as well remove all this. Zeke is gone for the next 5 games. He's already served one of the 6 games. He'll be gone for the next 5 games. You know that. You can move on. There's no hope. Well, he might can come back 2 games. No. We know there's finality to this. And this is what I'm of a mindset of, Skip. You're already made up your mind. You either believe he did it or you don't believe he did it. I do not believe, even if the suspension was lifted, I do not believe that there are some people's mind that were already made up, no matter what had happened, Zeke was guilty in their mind. And I get it. And I do not blame Zeke for fighting. I told you this when it came out. I said after these 2 jurisdictions, Columbus, Ohio, and South Florida, I would sue. Zeke did it. He did everything he possibly could. There was nothing else he could do, Skip. It's time for the Cowboys to move on. Zeke is going to do his suspension. And, hey, he'll be ready to come back. He'll be gassed up. Unfortunately, it's going to be too little too late.
So, back to Joy's question. I also was not surprised for very different reasons than you were not surprised. But what you have to understand is that in the end, Tom Brady is really just a football player. And in the end, Ezekiel Elliott is really at heart just a football player. In the amount of preparation required to fight legal battles of these magnitudes, Brady and Zeke versus the NFL, is beyond even what it requires to prepare as a starting quarterback, a franchise quarterback, for a football game. The amount of time it takes to travel to and spend in court is equal to a whole game week almost. And in the end, it's so draining, it is so taxing, it is so spirit crushing, and ultimately it is so not fun that they finally just wear out of the process and they say, I've done enough. And in both cases, Brady and now Zeke, I believe they both felt like they fought enough to win back some of their reputation. At least they took a stand. At least they fought through one level and had one victory in court, as did both in lower courts, to the point that you finally just throw up your hands and say, okay, that's enough. In Zeke's case, in this case, he wasn't just fighting the NFL. Just remember what happened. The crusher in Zeke's case was that a court in the United States of America, an appeals court, ordered him to go ahead and serve 4 of his 6 games before he would even get his day in court. They couldn't even get on the docket until December 1st. Well, that's outrageously wrong in and of itself. To me, this is a commentary on the court system of this country. A young black man can't get a day in court, so they say, oh, you got to serve. We don't care whether you're guilty or not. You just got to go ahead and serve. Right. Okay, what? So once the Dallas Cowboys lost at Atlanta, you look at the bigger picture and you say, well, it's feeling like the season is lost anyway, so why go through the drudgery of having to prep for another big legal battle in court in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in New York City. You have to go up there again for what? For 2 games? Because that's all you're fighting for now. And you feel like you won back a little bit of your name, just a little bit.
Right.
And again, I don't want to belabor this. We're never going to agree on this, but this wasn't about deflating footballs. That's what Tom Brady's was about. It was about, did he cheat and then lie about cheating?
Right.
And he was ready to fight to the death, and I was close to several members of his team, and they were poised to take it to the Supreme Court. And at the last second, at this second, he said, I just can't fight anymore. I'm becoming a distraction for my football team. So as we all know, he decided to swallow the 4-game suspension, but that was at the first of the football season because he could see the light at the end of the tunnel where, oh, well, you can use it as motivation to recharge you and you can come back and win the Super Bowl, which they did.
If you fought that long to clear your name, be it about deflating footballs and being called a liar or being allegedly a domestic abuser.
Okay, remember that's the point I was about to make. It's way different deflating footballs versus domestic violence.
But if you come that far, Skip, you and I both know. Let's be 100%. If they thought they could win, they would have continued to fight, because if you didn't think you could win, why would you appeal in the first place? Why would you go that far?
They did think they could win, and I believe they had enough case that they could go ahead and win. It's up to Ezekiel to say, okay, I'm in it for the long haul, and it's a lot to ask of a kid who plays football for a living, who's not made for this, not cut out for, didn't have the stomach for this, because it takes an iron stomach to keep fighting. And again, their argument was this supersedes Article 46 because the new domestic violence policy in the National Football League came after.
Correct.
So now we're back to what happened, what didn't happen. I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Is he guilty of domestic violence or not? All I know is what I kept seeing happening. As we point out, and this is the last time we're going to talk about it, so I'm going to say it one last time. 2 police departments investigated and said no charges.
Right.
Kia Roberts, longtime DA in Brooklyn. The new director of investigations for the National Football League is the only person in that front office who interviewed the accuser not once or twice, but 6 times, and she recommended no suspension.
Right.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. And then the Texas court ruled fundamentally unfair appeals process. Did he do it? I don't know. I don't know. Look, if the league wanted to suspend Ezekiel Elliott 2 or 3 games for conduct unbecoming, I would have been just fine with that. There's no fight there. Well, you got the rooftop and you got lots of other
you got some other, but the rooftop was that's on camera.
All right. But as far as proving domestic violence, really the only evidence you have, video evidence, is really that. That's what allowed a lot of people to leap to the conclusion, aha, he's capable of it. Look at that.
If he did that, he can do this.
But does that necessarily mean that he... No, it doesn't mean it. Could he? Sure. Okay. Does he have issues off the field that need to be... Yeah, he does.
But Skip, here's the thing, though. They were not arguing guilt or innocence. They were arguing the process. And when the judges looked at it, it says, okay, did the NFL inform you were being investigated? Yes. Did they suspended you? Yes. Nowhere in Article 46 of the CBA says that the accused can cross-examine the alleged victim. Nowhere does it say they can cross-examine Roger Goodell or the appeals officer.
I got it.
And so once the process is, and that's what did the judge say? I find that the process was fair.
Well, the first judge said fundamentally unfair, and then another judge who happened to have a conflict of interest. Because
no, it was not a conflict of interest.
Well, it was. No. But it's just shaky all the way through. So, Joy Taylor, what's your final analysis of this? Gut feeling.
I mean, my final analysis is what it's been the entire time. I think the NFL needs to be very clear with the public when they hand down suspensions like this so that it doesn't take away from the progress that they've made in domestic violence awareness. No one feels like they know what happened here because they weren't transparent. And so you're always going to have the people that say that she lied, and that's not good for anybody. On top of this suspension, it's also without pay, so he's going to lose about $560,000 $100,000 and also his legal bills, which are covered in part by the NFL.
Yep, and Jerry has the right to take back a portion of his son.
Of the $8 million, I don't believe he will.
Yeah, I don't think he will. No mercy. The Cowboys are a 4-point home underdog to the Eagles. Sean Lee is expected to miss the game, and Tyron Smith could be out as well. On the other side, the Eagles are on a 7-game winning streak and have the best record in the NFL. We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Greg, what do you expect on Sunday night?
I expect a good game, a hard-fought game.
Blah, blah,
Your
blah,
Cowboys,
yeah.
but ultimately, they don't get the job done. With what the Eagles present, and this is what I would love to see, and this is what I think we're going to see from the Eagles, their pass rush, with or without Tyron Smith. Obviously, Dallas would be much better and much sounder on that offensive line if he's able to play. But without him, the Eagles will live in the backfield. Their pass defense, their defensive line is one of the best defensive line in all of football. Mm-hmm. And then you go from their pass defense to their run defense. You're not really going to run the ball on the Eagles. Mm-mm. They're giving up only 66 yards a game. So you got two things that you do well from the Dallas Cowboys side of the ball: pass protect and run the ball. And those are two things that the Eagles really pride themselves in. Then when you look at the secondary with Jalen Mills and Douglas and Ronald Darby coming back, Mills and Douglas match up really well against their bigger receivers, Dez Bryant, who's a physical guy. They're physical corners. Then you got Ronald Darby coming back off the ankle injury, who matches up well with Cole Beasley in the slot. It just doesn't look good for the Cowboys when it comes to a matchup. Mm-mm. And then with them not having who they need, and Sean Lee and Ezekiel Elliott, and the list goes on and on. You got the Eagles again coming off a bye, haven't played a game in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So they're fresh, they're healthy. The Cowboys have played the last opponents, playoff contenders. They're going the opposite direction. They're getting injuries, they're losing players. And then ultimately the revenge factor from last year. Losing 29-23, having the lead, the Eagles having the lead, entering into the fourth quarter, falling out of that game and walking away. And then their season kind of spiraling out of control after that game. They have the same opportunity that the Dallas Cowboys had with them last year to give that back and dish that back out to the Dallas Cowboys. I just see everything favoring the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you got the best quarterback in arguably football right now, in a young Carson Wentz.
Pennsylvania. He's it.
I don't even want to talk.
Place to be.
I don't even want to talk.
No, go ahead.
No,
I want you to pile on.
No, I want to pile on.
You're just going to sit back and enjoy the misery over here? Because I agree with every point Greg Jennings just made. But I will insist that if my Cowboys were at full strength the way they were going to Washington, for instance, they would win this game. I told you they would. They're better at full strength than the Philadelphia Eagles are, but they are not even close to full strength. And I didn't second guess this. I first guessed it. I did not love this defense coming into this year. I thought they needed some veteran stability on the backside of the defense. They needed Darrelle Revis. They needed Antonio Cromartie. They needed some backstop to Sean Lee because he has been hurt before, as Shannon points out. And he did get through last year unscathed, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope he gets through the year because they are Sean Lee or bust on defense. And I can just show you chapter and verse. Without him, they're a second-half disaster. They can outscore you in the first half, then they get outscored in the second half. And the injury gods have spoken. It's not meant to be. It is not their year. It's over. It is Philly's year. They're on fire, fly, Eagles, fly, and everything is broken mostly right. Well, I'm just telling you what, this is the deal. This is what has happened because if you take away Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm pretty sure you've taken away Tyron Smith, although they're saying he's 50-50 to play, but it sounds like he's breaking down. And Dez Bryant is broken down. And he didn't practice yesterday, and I'm not even sure he's going to be out there to be covered by the people you said who can cover him because he's a physical wreck. And I don't know what's happened to Cole Beasley, except the league caught up with him. They figured him out. And he gets doubled a lot inside. He gets bracket coverage inside, and people have been taking him out of games in ways they never did last year.
Yeah, Forrest Dak can throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's good at being dinking and dacking.
Yeah.
But we want him to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Force him to throw the ball down the field like Carson.
He dinked and dacked you right down your throat, Philadelphia, last year at Jerry World, because what happened in the fourth quarter? He took the game over.
Yeah.
What happened in overtime? He threw the walk-off, right?
And so now he gets a chance to do it again because Philly's left tackle is out. Their starting middle linebacker is out.
Yep.
They don't have a Zeke running the football, an all-pro
Yeah,
running
but
back.
they don't have a Chaz Green backing up Peters, right?
What about Big V?
Big V is a stud.
Oh, he's a stud now.
Kalapuli Vati Vaitai.
I don't know.
Oh,
how to
he's
say
a
it.
you
stud
say that
now.
name.
Big V is a stud.
Oh, he's
Big
a stud now.
Big V stepped right in for Lane Johnson for 10 games last year, and Lane Johnson was not missed.
Yes,
I'm sorry, was not.
actually he was, because Carson Wentz's interception went up, his sacks total went up, his percentage went down. So what
That's
didn't
because Carson Wentz comes apart under any kind of pressure.
Okay, what
deer
about
in
Dak?
headlights,
What about
he
Dak on
unravels.
Sunday? Can you tell people at home that didn't see the game in Atlanta what happened to Dak on Sunday?
He wore Adrian Claiborne like a big mink coat.
Okay,
That's
what
it
about
was.
the turnovers?
Yeah.
Forget the sacks. What about the turnovers?
Blindside turnovers twice.
Oh, they don't
Without
count?
him.
They don't count
No, they
those, huh?
count,
Okay.
but they didn't really matter in the game.
Oh,
They had no
not
real
turnovers don't
impact.
matter. You see that great turnovers don't matter now.
Well, help me out. Did they matter?
Yeah.
Oh, one happened at the end of the first half when the Atlanta just kneeled and
Did you
took it to the half.
Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary touchdown in playoffs
Well,
back in the half.
they didn't do that.
Turnovers always matter.
You know, but at the end of the game,
Look at
he
this right
lost
here.
one. It
Look
was
at this right here.
27-7. 27-7.
Watch this right here. Woo! Got him again. Hold
Yeah.
on. Is this on a loop? Is this the same? Oh, is this the same play, Skip?
So Chaz Green was in there, and then he got pulled in favor of Byron Bell, and he looked okay for a few snaps, and then all of a sudden, he gave up a sack. So
Byron Bell, Burt Bell, the Liberty Bell, Alexander Graham Bell, all of them was like blocks and couldn't
he is
move.
going to be the Liberty Bell if he starts because Philly will be ringing
He's a
his bell.
third-round pick, Skip.
No, Byron Bell.
No, I'm Chaz Green.
Yeah, he's a left guard.
You can ring my bell.
Yeah. Don't sing it. Don't sing it, please.
What I also like about the Eagles, we've been talking about their defense the entire time. We haven't even gone to the offensive side of the ball.
That MVP, did I Skip?
You know what?
Did you
They're
tell him?
second in points scored, so they're going to score a bunch.
Can I ask
Because,
you-
wait a minute, my defense got a rookie at corner, a second-year player at the other corner, and a rookie at safety.
Can I ask you
Wow,
a question?
against the number 2 offense?
You didn't tell Greg.
Woo.
You didn't tell Greg.
Huh.
What do you
Did you tell Greg who's the MVP favorite right now in Vegas?
I don't know. What's your
You
research?
do know.
don't know.
Oh, you don't know now.
Well, it should be Tom Brady,
No,
but,
but who is it?
huh? They say it's your guy.
Who is my guy?
Yeah. You like him? Do you think he's having a better year than
I
Tom Brady?
love that.
He's not.
I love that fisherman. I don't really like the hunting aspect though, but I love his fishing.
love it.
You know, he's from North Dakota.
Yeah, he is.
He be ice fishing. I like fishing.
Yeah, I'll take
Fly, Eagles,
Dakota Prescott. But that's
Okay,
just
you can
me.
take it.
He's better.
I tell you what you're gonna do. The first week in January, you and Dakota can take your butt home, and Carson Wentz will be on a bye, getting ready for the
He
playoffs.
probably will.
Going
It's his
deep into
year.
the playoffs.
The injury gods
No.
willed it.
No, this
they
gonna be-
said, let there be Eagles.
Look,
And we got the Eagles.
One of the other things that the Eagles do very, very well that a lot of teams struggle to do outside of really like the New England Patriots, they haven't shown a sign of playing down to their opponent.
No.
When they went up to Denver, and what they did to Denver.
Denver played
Philly.
Yeah,
It was
they
at Philly.
played in Philly. When they played Denver, you have a tendency to kind of get lulled to sleep. When a team can't put up as many points as you, you kind of relax a little bit. It's like they were excited to put up even more points. So I'm excited to see what they do without Sean Lee, without their quarterback on their defense side of the ball, being the Dallas Cowboys, and just give it to. This is an opportunity for the Eagles to really put a
Pour it
stomping-
on.
No,
absolutely.
So what do you think, like 41-6?
No, y'all got DeMarcus
What do you
Lawrence
think?
Taylor.
Huh?
Y'all got DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor.
I
he
think it's going to
disappeared.
be a really
Y'all got David
competitive
Irving.
game.
David
I do
Irving.
think it's going to be
Where was
competitive
he
because
last
it's
week?
a division game. I don't think it's going to get out of control. I
Yeah.
think it has the potential to get out of control, but I just don't think.
Has the potential, but it's not?
Y'all
I
got
don't think
Byron
it
Jones.
will.
Y'all got Byron Jones. You got a Woozier.
He's been out.
What's the other guy name from Jordan Lewis? I mean, y'all got some good guys
a
back there.
rookie.
Y'all got Heath.
Yeah.
Y'all
No,
got-
he's out. concussion.
Y'all got Jalen Smith?
Oh, unfortunately, we do.
Y'all got
Great
Crawford?
kid, can't play yet.
Oh, Joy.
You were really high.
Joy,
on
you
him
like
at the beginning
Joy,
of
you
the
like
season.
Mexican?
I wasn't that high. I was hoping he'd turn back into that
Greg,
college Jalen
Greg,
Smith.
You like Mexican food? You like Mexican food?
I do.
I've been listening.
I do.
Where's Taco? Where's Taco? You told me Taco. You told me they're gonna be serving them Taco Supremes.
Yep, hadn't happened.
Ain't not one thing got a Taco Supreme.
Need Sean Lee.
What Sean Lee got to do with him rushing the quarterback?
Without Sean Lee, the Rams won the second half 19-6. Green Bay won it 23-10. Atlanta 17-0, and it's going to happen again. The final score will be 32-20.
Did Taco play?
Philly.
Did Taco play in any of those games?
He's a rookie.
That is what you said at the beginning of the season. You said, "Oh, you'll be serving
I
Taco."
love it.
Oh, I love that celebration.
We gotta
Joy.
leave it there.
We
Need
be eating
Sean
taco.
Lee. I need Sean Lee. He's been doing
We'll
it.
have some for dinner. Greg, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
This is Shannon Sharpe, and before the show moves along, a quick word about Home Depot and Husky tools. They say in life there are no guarantees. Well, I'm here to tell you there just might be one exception. In 1924, Husky started making things for people who make things, and they did it with common sense. That meant adding function, never frills, and making tools that stood the test of time. 93 years later, Husky is still making quality crafted, durable tools, and Husky stands by their hand tools for life, so they gave their hand tools a lifetime warranty. Like the Husky Ratchet, with a 100-position ratcheting design and a 10% longer handle than standard ratchets, or the virtually unbreakable Husky Flashlight with the ability to withstand a 30-foot drop, both guaranteed for a lifetime, built so you won't need it. Now that's a pretty sure thing, and to Husky, that's common sense. Husky, common sense tools since 1924, with hand tools guaranteed for a lifetime, found only at the Home Depot.
No mercy.
The Rams take their 4-game winning streak to Minnesota Sunday on Fox. They also lead the NFL in scoring, but they'll face a Vikings defense that is one of the league's best. Yesterday, Minnesota officially announced Case Keenum will start the game after some speculation they could go with Teddy Bridgewater. We're joined now by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Eric, are you gonna be a homer and pick the Rams? to
You know,
win
he
Minnesota?
is the Rambassador, right?
No, you can't talk. No, you can't talk, cowboy girl.
I'm out front.
No,
I'm out front.
You secret one.
Don't even try it. Don't even start with me. Look, I'm going to start with the Vikings. You know, the Vikings have 8 former first-round draft picks on that defense. That's a good defense. It really is. I think it's it's 5th-ranked defense in the National Football League.
is.
They play a lot of cover 2, a lot of cover 4. They don't even have to blitz a lot to get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, they do very well with their big defensive lineman Hunter. I think
Emerson Griffin.
They drop back. They have safeties. They do a lot of disguising. But you know the great thing about football is that you have a second half. So when you go in at halftime, you can make adjustments, and I think that's where Sean McVay is really good at, is making those halftime adjustments, just in case things are not going well. I think in this game, one thing is going to be turnovers. Who turns the ball over? If we can stay away from turnovers, I'm not saying we're going to win yet. I'm not going to put that out there, but we can do very well in this football game. Do I think that we'll be able to run the football? I think that we will set up the play action with the run game, Now, let's go to our defense. Our defense is very good also.
Y'all got a bunch of first rounders over
We got
there,
a bunch of first rounders. I think we're number one in the NFL with takeaways, 19 takeaways. We put pressure on the quarterback. We make you make mistakes. We know the quarterback. We know Case Keenum. I mean, I think Case is a good backup. I mean, I think he's done a great job. Just goes to show you what you could do with the right coaching staff behind you.
What you saying about the coaching staff last year?
What do you think I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
What do you think I'm saying about it? Saying all that to say that I got to save something for y'all too, because I know y'all got some stuff to come back at me with. Who do I think is going to win this football game? I think the Rams will. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be like 20-14. I think it'll be one of those kind of games. And I think if we go down and win, it's going to still be some naysayers. We're good on the road. I mean, we're 5-0 on the road. You can say London is a home game. Look, we're not from London. It's from Southern California. You change the jersey, that don't mean nothing. So I'm going with the Rams to win this football game.
I took the Rams also. I like the Rams offense. High scoring offense. They scored 38 points a game on the road. Jared Goff has impressed me, Skip. You look at him averaging 333 yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions over his last 2 games. He's played very well. Again, he has an offensive guy in his ear now. He has someone that can help teach him the position. Believes in him. Especially at that position, is about having a coach that believes in you, that you can do what they're asking you to do. Their offensive line is vastly underrated. I think that Andrew Whitworth, was a big addition. 13 sacks in 9 games. Now, you're going to have to hold up because the defensive line of Linval Joseph and Everson Griffin and Robinson, they can get after you with that front four, which allows them to play that quarters coverage, which you mentioned, ED, cover 4, or the cover 2 with the 2 deep shell. So you can play that, have those 7 guys back there in coverage, not give up the big plays when you can get home with just 4. But I'm going to take the Rams in a very, very close ball game. I'm going to say 23-20 Rams.
I'm surprised after the cases both of you made that you didn't make it a blowout.
No.
Because, well, seriously, did you hear all that?
Yeah. But
my God.
The Vikings got a good team too now.
Thank you.
do?
Thank you.
They got Case Keenum at quarterback. You called him yesterday nothing but a backup, right?
Right. He's
So-
starting.
He's an adequate backup, though. He's a
Jared
good backup.
Goff, first overall. So Jared Goff versus a
He's in his
undrafted
second year.
free-
Second year.
It's really his first year.
But come on, the first overall versus undrafted free agent? Really?
I mean, you got Dak Prescott, the MVP of the league, against old Wentz.
I
North
just
Dakota
told you
State.
what was going to happen. It's virtually a blowout. I called that one a 12-point wipeout.
No.
I did. So let me get this straight. So you, Eric Dickerson, have, being the Ram ambassador that you are you going to this game, by the way?
No, I'm not going to this game. I'm going to watch it on television.
all right.
I'm going to watch it HQ.
So you realize you have the number 1 offense in all of football. They're number 1 in points scored, and they're number 3 in points allowed. So that's as good a combination as any team in the NFL has of offense plus defense. And you already pointed out, they lead the league in turnovers forced. That's spectacular. That's 19 turnovers. So they're going to make you cough it up at some point, some way, right?
Yeah.
And as you also point out, which is you just sort of just tossed it off, but they haven't lost away yet. They're undefeated away from Los Angeles, right?
Right.
So that should be powerfully in their favor. And then you called it. You got the boy genius as your coach, right? Sean McVay. Nobody makes adjustments at halftime better than the 31-year-old head coach,
What
right?
do you got to do with age? Anyway, go ahead.
Scott Linehan makes a lot of
He
adjustments.
does not. He's terrible.
Oh, now he's terrible.
I told you that. Well, look at what happened. I just read you all the second halves. Right? They got blown out in the second half 3 times without Sean Lee.
Okay.
And by the way, the Vikings are only a 2-point favorite at home, so Vegas is kind of leaning toward the Rams as the actual favorite because it's sort of 3-point for home field advantage. And given all that, I would think both of you would say it would be more convincing than 20-14 and 23-20 close game. Case Keenum?
It's their
These
home.
are their home. These
Good
are 2
teams.
good football teams. I mean, you can't underestimate the Vikings. I mean, they're good at home. I mean, they really are. And no matter Case Keenum's, he's an adequate backup. He really is.
Adequate backup, career backup.
He's a backup. I mean, that's what I say. I do like him. Nothing against Case, but I think at one point Teddy Bridgewater will come in. Hopefully not this game.
Okay.
But
So you're
let me
hoping
ask you
that
a
it is
question.
going to be
You-
Case Keenum.
well, you have-
Eric Dickerson
you-
just said he hopes Case makes it through the whole game.
I don't want to see the man
You don't
get
want to
hurt.
see Teddy Bridgewater, right?
Who do you think gonna win the game?
I'm going with Case Keenum. Thank you
I
very
knew
much.
it. I knew
I'm
it. I
going
could
with
tell.
Case
I could
Keenum
tell. I
because
could tell.
I don't think he's a career backup. I told you yesterday he started for 3 different teams now in this league, and he's got some resume. And I like his spunk and his spirit and his nerve and his verve. And he's got a little arm. He's not bad. No. And he's not as bad as both of you have dismissed him as being.
I say he's a
And
backup.
They got it going. And he was really good at Washington last week.
Yeah.
And I think it will carry over into this game. So I got it a close score because, hey, these are the Los Angeles Rams, man.
But they're the Dallas Cowboys. We
Yeah.
know what he'd be saying.
Yeah. So I'm going to go 23-21 Case Keenum. Case Keenum, could it possibly be that he would beat the mighty Rams on a roll?
First of all, it's football.
Wow.
On any given
Given
Sunday,
Sunday,
anything can happen.
He knows what can happen.
You see, why you do that?
You know why you're hating like that? Because his Cowboys ain't it no more.
Yeah.
You done gave up. Did you give up?
We had you down 24-13,
You know what, though?
but there wasn't any Sean Lee.
You do owe me a case.
Yeah.
I figured it out. You do owe me. I beat you. I did beat you by 1. Because you said you're going to win the division.
Yeah.
You said you're going to beat the Eagles twice.
The injury gods.
That's a good ball, Skip.
Wait, was it strength to strength, head to head? Was it force versus force?
Let me ask you something.
Listen,
The
if
Eagles
you-
got injuries.
Wait a second, they do not have any
They're
injuries.
left tackle.
Oh, please. That guy he started 10 games last year.
Oh, so he's better. He's
Big
Peters.
V.
He's better than
Peters is
Peters.
getting old. He is.
He's still the top 3
yeah,
tackle.
watch, they won't miss him a lick. You won't see a peep from over there from anybody. Watch.
do that, Skip.
They
Don't
won't
do that.
sack him at all. Pennsylvania, and if they sack him, he'll just shrug him off because he's
What
Paul
about Dak?
Bunyan.
Well, hold on. What about Dak? Dak is a top 5 quarterback. That's what you've been telling me.
He doesn't have his left tackle or the best running back in pro football.
Stop right there. No, he's not the best running back in pro football.
Well, that's what I say. I already told you he was.
I told you our back is better than your back.
Okay.
Let's put
So-
it like, let's
okay.
put it. And
So
I'm not
you-
even saying that
so
our
wait a
back
second.
is better than your back.
So wait, Eric
Todd-
Dickerson says you
Todd-
have the best back in pro football, but you're only picking it 23-20?
No matter what, it's
23 to
football.
20.
You still got to play the game, Skip.
I mean, who does Minnesota have to run the ball? Latavius? Is that it?
Yeah.
Like he's just a backup, basically, right?
Oh, so now he's just a backup.
Wait. He's just a backup.
Case Keenum's just a backup. Latavius,
Skip, I
they
can
used
tell
to
you
have
played a lot of
Avery
football.
Peterson.
I can tell you play. You know what, Skip? I'll make you a bet.
Yeah.
Another bet. I bet if I took a football uniform, took it all the pieces, all of it, and just laid it out, take everything out, you got to put it back together and put it on. Could you do it?
Could I put it on?
Put it together.
What does that mean?
I mean, put everything like you know, take a gun apart in the military, take the helmet, snap everything.
Yeah,
back
he
in.
can do that. He's been around it enough.
You think you can put it together?
Yeah.
Well, okay, well,
I'm just asking the question. Do you think you can do it?
would you like to go play basketball right now?
Skip, I'll play you basketball
Okay.
right now.
Right now.
back,
All right,
back.
let's do it.
But with a bad back, I
Let's
play.
go.
do that,
Skip.
Eric.
Let's go. Let's go.
What?
And then
I
we're
was
going
Skip
to...
plays
I don't care about
basketball
Skip playing
every day.
basketball.
Right now, for any amount of money, you bring your
Skip,
wallet.
no
bring
problem,
your wallet.
Skip. I tell you what, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that this weekend.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
we could do it today.
They got a basketball goal out there?
No, I got one. I got one where I play all the time.
Oh, you got to go to your
Yeah.
home court.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
Skip.
going to my
I'm
home
a dog,
court.
you Skip.
Yeah.
I'm a dog, you know.
Yep. You better be in shape, and I see
I'm
a
in
little
shape.
bit of thing hanging over your belt
wait.
there, a little bit.
That's a tie.
Oh,
That's a tie.
yeah.
Well, my Rams gonna win. I'm just through with
Okay.
that. I'm saying the Rams. I take the Rams in this game.
Yeah, the Rams. Skip, why you everybody out on everybody? His team doing good. You out on them because you're Cowboy.
What did I tell you when Seattle visited? I said Big Brother is going to beat Little Brother, and both of you said Rams, and I said Seattle.
I'll say
And
this
what
much,
happened?
They beat
What
them.
happened?
And I'll say this much here in that game. You're right. They did beat them. I'm not like you. I'm not like saying, well, we had to lead at halftime. We ain't trying to hear that. We beat y'all. Seattle beat us. But we had a chance to win the game with 5 turnovers. You know how when you have 5 turnovers, you're supposed to be blown out.
And drop the touchdown in the end zone.
To
That
win
would have won the game.
You're supposed to be blown out of the game. When
Did y'all have a chance to win that game?
What do you sell at your restaurant? W's and L's. And what did they go in? Seattle went in and said, I'll have a W.
I did say.
Right?
I said we lost. We
Yeah.
lost the game.
You did.
I did.
And you're going to lose this
We're
one.
gonna
for the
win.
Rams.
We're gonna win this
We're
week.
gonna win this. Okay.
Vikings, you know what?
Broncos gonna win.
This basketball. Let's go. Skip. You think you can beat me in basketball?
And then we're going to play golf for any amount of money.
He can't walk. He can't walk.
I can't play golf, right? I
and
can't
then we're-
swing, but basketball I beat you at, right?
Then we're going to race. We're going to race like, what, you want on a mile, 3 miles,
Oh, no,
4,
no.
5 miles, 8
spread.
miles? What do you want to race? Tell me.
100 yards.
Huh? 100 yards?
100
You know
yards.
what? I might have a chance against you with the bad back.
You ain't got a chance with the bad back.
Yeah?
Trust me. I'm telling you.
Edie, you ain't ran a long time. Edie.
Yeah.
Come on. Shannon, I cannot run you too now. Don't.
Oh, whoa, see,
Hold it now. You think you got to run me, Shannon? You got to be kidding me. Shannon,
Uh-oh.
you can't run me.
Edie,
What?
what you been drinking this morning?
What have you been? You been getting is it yak in that cup?
Is them glasses ain't got no medicine.
You can't run me.
The reality is you both sound crazy because you're both going to pull your hamstring.
I ain't gonna pull my. I cannot
You'll
run.
be laid
Shannon.
up in a hospital
Shannon,
bed.
you
We're going to
sound-
have to
and
send you
Skip too.
flowers.
You almost
Wait,
60.
And then Skip and I are gonna
you
have to
see
do the
what Skip
show
did?
ourselves.
Skip got us going. He's sitting there rocking back and forth, laughing at us.
No mercy.
Have the Cavs figured it out? They won their 3rd straight road game, beating the Hornets last night 115-107. LeBron had 31 points and 8 assists in the win. Here's LeBron on the Cavs' winning streak.
That was a huge win for us, and that's all it comes down to. We ended this trip as well as we could after, a tough loss in Houston to go 3-0 after that. It's a big trip for us.
Are we going to get another Arthur meme from you, though? Or are you just going to let your teammates
I
put it out?
don't know. My teammates have been keeping it up, so we'll see how we feel. But like I said, it was a great road trip.
It's their favorite cartoon. Shannon LeBron said it was a huge win.
Huge.
Was it a huge win?
I wouldn't say huge, but it was a very good win, Skip, because
Wait, he said huge.
I don't agree with LeBron on everything. We have disagreements.
He's not going to take your call if you don't
I
agree.
mean, but he's like Shay. But you do speak honest, bro. So keep on
He's
speaking
okay
on
with
the
that?
man. Yeah.
I'm sure he is, yeah.
If you look at it, okay, they beat the Celtics, they beat the Bucks. The first 2 games, they're 2-0. And since then, Skip, they win one, they lose two, they win one, they lose three.
Yep.
And now they started off on the road trip, Houston, they lose a tough one, and then they go 3-0. So it's nice to be able to put wins together back to back to back. I think Tyronn Lue stumbled on this in Houston. Skip, I told you he found a lineup. That lineup can score.
Yep.
They can defend, but the problem is when they defend is that when the ball goes up, it hits the rim, they struggle getting the rebounds because they're so small.
Yep.
And that's going to be the problem. But I mean, and now the second unit's playing well. D. Wade came in and gave him big minutes last night. Channing Frye gave him big minutes. Kyle Korver is doing Kyle Korver things. Again, you look at the stat line, Kevin Love, he played good last night. But what Kevin Love am I going to get from night to night, Skip?
I don't know.
I can't put no faith in Kevin Love. I mean, he was 22 and 10 last night.
That's not bad. That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
But guess what? What was he the night before? I don't
remember he played the night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's playing less and less in the fourth quarter, and Tyronn Lue is going with this lineup more and more in the fourth quarter. But as you know, LeBron was magnificent. You know he's 3 for 3 from the free throw line.
I saw that.
He's 4 for. Did you see him hitting them step back threes? Oh, he let them threes go, Skip.
Yeah.
Oh, going to the rim, doing Bron things, doing big boy things, making big boy noise, letting you know he ain't going nowhere.
Is that for me?
Yeah, he let you know. He let everybody know.
So he dedicated that
Iron
game
Man.
to me.
Iron Man.
He is Iron Man.
Now you know.
And by the way, God, is that right? He played 37 more minutes last night, so he leads the league in minutes played?
Yeah.
How can that be?
Skip, that's why you spend that $2 million in the offseason to hire all these people. What he's supposed to do? That's what he do. He's a professional. You play.
Okay.
Isn't that what you said about Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan played every night, and he played hard. So that's what LeBron do. LeBron said, I play hard.
Okay, so does that mean that we don't have to get an excuse at the end of the year if I'm tired, I've played too many minutes?
Did he make
so
that?
it's out?
Did he make that excuse last year?
Seemed like he
No,
did
he
a couple times. He's worn out.
What about that? What about that triple dub he averaged? You know he averaged 30 plus in the playoffs.
Okay, I don't want to hear an excuse.
But me and Bron don't do that.
So my takeaway from last night was it's always huge in LeBron's mind when he beats Michael Jordan's team. His team.
Stop.
That's why it's huge. This is huge, he says. Huge?
No.
Huge? You just beat a Charlotte team that's lost 5 straight games and it's huge?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure it was 5 because it was 4 before we got there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we didn't want them to be 1 and 4.
Really? Well, I just got to think it's always huge when LeBron thinks he can show up Michael Jordan because he doesn't have to play him face to face.
Mike wasn't even there.
I don't think he was there, but he knows he's watching, and this is his team, right?
Yeah.
So if he takes it out on his team, it's effectively taking it out on Mike, right? In LeBron's mind, or in his delusional sort of.
Well, that's how I did. I mean, when I was growing up, Skip, my brother's friends, they were in the grade he was. They were mad at him. They would try to push me down, but I wasn't having for it, Skip. I wasn't gonna go for that.
No.
Get no name off me, Joy.
So I will give you, LeBron had a really nice game for the most part. Some big numbers, 31, 8, and 6. I'll roll with that.
Oh, you will, huh?
A few nice plays. But you know what was amusing to me?
What?
Sort of enlightening to me? I don't know. I just watched.
What?
All I do is watch, but LeBron drew his second charging foul, and he was hot. And this is late in the third quarter, and he went to the bench with 3:31 left in the third, and they're down 3 points, and he was yelling at the referee, I won't say the whole thing. He said bull.
He said bull jive.
He was saying another
bull
word
flitters.
at the end of he was saying that word.
Cow hockey.
And he just kept yelling it.
Yeah,
This
it was.
BS.
Yeah,
right?
because
BS,
it was.
BS.
And he didn't mean block shot.
No, he did not mean that. And yet, while he sat, guess who he was replaced in the lineup by?
D. Wade.
That guy from Miami.
Yeah.
The guy he left for dead back in Miami.
Oh,
Left him
stop it.
behind.
You keep trying to bring up
Wade. Old wounds?
You know what? Like my grandma said, you keep trying to stir up old poop.
Okay.
It still smells, Skip. It happened, okay?
Still smells.
But he brought him back.
So Dwayne Wade comes in place of LeBron James, and guess what happens? Guess what happens? The Cavaliers go on a 16-6 run.
Yeah.
So they're down 3, and then all of a sudden, they're up a lot when LeBron comes back in with 8:58 left in the game.
Yeah.
What happened there? I don't know. With the best player on the planet watching, yelling BS, 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 that was some sweet stuff that happened on the court.
I mean, can I ask you a question? You know, before that player left, he was cooking. He had hit a step back. He had hit a turnaround. He had, Skip, you and I both know, let's be real. If you take LeBron James off the Cavaliers, they're the worst team in the East. You know it, and I know it.
All I know for sure is that Dwayne Wade was sort of the lightning rod of that comeback, 16-6 run. And every time Dwayne's on the court, they lock in and lock down on defense much better because Dwayne can still D up people.
Yeah.
He can still roam and disrupt and steal the ball. Didn't he have some steals last night? He had a couple steals, didn't he? Yeah, he had two steals and didn't play that many minutes. So I thought
He played enough minutes.
In the second half, I saw some signs of life on the defensive end. But I also, because I actually watched the whole game, then something weird happened at the end of the game. LeBron started hot dogging a little bit, stole the ball, went in for his big tomahawk. Remember what he did in the 2014 playoffs when he looked at Mike?
Yeah.
And then he slammed it?
No, you're looking at me like this here, Joey.
So this time he looked over for Mike, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then he went ahead and slammed
Yeah.
it, glared,
Yeah.
glowered at all the fans, strutted up, did his home run trot up the court, right? And
Ooh, look at here.
woo! And then what happened? LeBron James then took 4 straight wild show-off shots, just like crazy. I'm saying, what are you doing, LeBron? Just trying to show up and show off and trying to rub it in
ain't no
because
show out.
he's showing Michael Jordan, I'm toying with what's left of your basketball team. And so he misses, he tried to size up. Remember, Dwight got him out on the perimeter.
Yeah, I needed that one to go in. I needed that one to go
It
in,
just
yeah.
didn't quite go in. And
Steph
then-
is the master of
then
that
he
shot.
did his step back 3 from 26 feet. He just threw it, hoping like I'm crazy hot, it's going to go in, and it did not go in. Then he tries to dream shake on the baseline, and then he tried another one that was completely covered, another dream shake. And I'm saying, LeBron, you're going to shoot them right back in the game because it was a 6-point game when he took the 4th miss. And guess what happened? Jeff Green saved him again with an offensive rebound. If Charlotte goes the other way, they can cut it to a 1-possession
He
game.
twisted his ankle, too. Did you go tell about that he twisted his ankle?
He did, but he's Iron Man. It never seems to matter.
And that bothered him, Skip. That's what I
Did
mean.
you see him over on the bench? He goes over there, and he knows the camera's right on him, and he goes,
You know what? You need to stop. You need to stop. Why you do that?
it's a show.
No,
Every
it's not
night
a
it's
show.
a LeBron show.
Did he not twist his ankle?
We're talking about a Charlotte game in November, just like the Knicks game in November.
Did he twist his ankle?
It looked like he stepped on, who was it, Batum's foot or somebody?
Okay, do you think that hurt?
I don't know. I don't think he feels any pain. He's Iron Man.
You know what? You need to stop, Skip.
No, I'm serious.
I know the guy doesn't miss
I told you he's the most durable athlete I've ever watched in any sport. Any sport.
I get it. The man is about to be 33.
Yeah.
He's averaging 28 and a half. He's averaging like 8 and 8. I get it, Skip. You're not supposed to have these kind of numbers in year 15. I totally get it.
Yep.
But he that good.
He is that good. And now the most baffling of all the developments is that his one-time arch enemy, Draymond Green, has now turned into his like business partner and conscience because he works with him on Uninterrupted. He's part of that with Maverick Carter.
Yeah.
What is that about?
What you mean,
Oh,
Skip?
he's your arch enemy. So what's LeBron do? Keep your friends close, enemies closer, right?
Hey,
So that's what he's doing with
you trying
Draymond.
you trying to make money? I'm trying to make money. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
pair
get
up
it.
here.
Yeah.
Let's get it together. And so now his conscience has said publicly, this is from Draymond Green, that what Cavs fans should be concerned most about is LeBron's just playing too many minutes, right?
No, go. What else did he say?
Well, he said superhuman.
Oh, okay.
At some
You want
point,
to
you're not superhuman anymore.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe LeBron will always be super. Maybe he'll be 55 and he'll be superhuman.
No, I'm thinking like year 18 and 19, we'll start to see a decline.
Really?
Yeah, 18,
You're
19.
predicting that?
Yeah, year 18, 19.
Huh. Well, Tom
But he-
Brady's still going.
But Tom Brady ain't this.
Tom Brady is this
'Cause guess-
and more. He's
when-
much more.
when
Because Tom
Tom-
Brady actually wins championships.
When Tom Brady plays offense and defense, when he can impact the game
Yeah.
on both ends of the floor, let me know. Did you see? Let me see. When Tom Brady can guard Julio Jones, then I'm gonna say Tom
when
Brady.
LeBron James gets to 5-2 in NBA Finals, let
in
me
the
know.
fourth quarter,
Let me know.
Will you tell the people
I'll
at home?
take Tom
Hold
Brady
on.
any day of the week.
I don't think the people at home saw the Knicks game. Can you tell the people at home in the fourth quarter who LeBron James was guarding?
He was mostly passing to Kyle Korver. That's
Skip,
what
I asked you a
He
simple
scored a
question.
career high 19 points.
Joy,
in the
can you
fourth
ask?
quarter.
I'm asking you a question.
This is more of a commentary on Kristaps Porzingis. He was able to guard him, and why didn't
Block the shot
Porzingis
twice.
take the game over? Why didn't he? Because he's not all that.
He tried to back Bron down.
Yep.
Bron said, "You ain't got enough bricks. You got one brick in your back pocket. You
Yep.
need two."
Interesting. And that's the same LeBron who missed the 2 clinching free throws at the end of the game, and you dared to put him in the same sentence with the clutchest quarterback in history, Tom Brady?
No, he hit that step back three. He hit that step back three. They gave him a 3-point lead.
Yeah, that was
the game
a
was
minute
over.
and a half.
That was over.
Oh, it was not.
That
A
was
lot
over.
of stuff happened
No,
after that.
no,
Was that a walk-off?
It was over. It was
Did the
over.
Knicks say, we're done?
Hold on.
No.
When Kevin Durant hit that three in LeBron's face, you knew it was over then. That was the last. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
hurt.
LeBron's walking to the free throw line with 4.4 seconds left, and Clyde Frazier's saying on the Knicks broadcast, you know he's known for missing these.
And you know what? It just so happened when I got home yesterday, the game was on. And it just so happened that LeBron was sizing up Porzingis. And Clyde Frazier also said he likes to shoot from this area of the court. He likes to.
Yeah.
If you watch the tape on LeBron, you know he's going to get that little drip.
If you know the book on LeBron, you don't guard that.
No.
You just dare him to shoot it, because the more open he is, the more likely he is to miss it.
The only book that can help you when you playing against LeBron is the Bible. That's the only book that can help you. You better pray on a stack of them, because he going to give it to you. Yeah, Joy, you know it. Joy, I know you miss it, Joy. It's hard. I mean, you had 4 years. You knew you go to the game. You have your outfits on. You like, oh, we going to win tonight. Now you go. You wear coverall, you wear flip-flop, because you already know. You already know what's going to happen.
Well,
so that's the book on LeBron. How did we beat LeBron? In the
book
beginning.
on that game last night was, it was huge.
You better get
Huge.
the Bible. You get the King James Version? King James.
I'm Revised Standard. Thank you.
Well, you better read it. If that's how you stop
I
him.
read it all the time, and it has nothing to do with LeBron James.
Well, see,
absolutely nothing. You know what? I've never seen his name in the Bible. I don't know why.
King James.
Oh, he's the
Oh,
King
he
James.
is the King James.
Oh, it was named after
You
him.
might,
I forgot
you know what, Skip? You don't
Really?
read the Bible, a word about LeBron,
Yeah.
but I bet you there are a lot of NBA players do go to chapel and mass before every game if you got to see that man.
And they pray it's going to be a close game and he'll be at the free throw line.
No mercy.
The Sixers beat the Lakers last night, led by Joel Embiid's huge 46-point game. On the other side, Lonzo Ball continued his struggles with only 2 points on 1 for 9 shooting. He also sat out the entire fourth quarter for the second straight game. Let's take a listen to Lonzo and Luke Walton after the game.
Why do I think that Zoe had an off night? I don't know. He's 20 years old, and he plays the toughest position in the NBA. And 10-year All-Stars have off nights, so of course our young players are going to have off nights as well. It's just the way that it works in our league.
Were there parts where you were just feeling like your shot wasn't going and that affected everything else, or how would you sum that up?
Usually I don't let my shot affect me, but tonight I feel like I did. Missed some layups. Just a bad night.
We're joined by former Suns head coach and 13-year NBA vet Earl Watson. Welcome back.
Thanks.
How concerned should the Lakers be about Lonzo's struggles?
No concern at all. If you think about everything and when you're navigating the team as Coach Luke Walton is, you have to understand it's more than just sports. It's more than just basketball. That is a very close family, and they've been through a lot within the last 12 months, even dating back to their mom. And now you have the younger brother in trouble over in China. The family's there. The dad's kind of distant.
The mom had a stroke.
Yeah, the mom had a stroke. And, Lonzo keeps, the poker face, and he keeps his push forward. And the point guard is the hardest position in basketball besides the center position, only because of the mindset and the mental obstacles you have to play throughout the game.
No, Skip.
I'm glad you're here today, because I'm a big fan of Lonzo Ball, as Shannon knows, and I told Shannon I thought he was going to be life-changing for the Lakers, and I believe that Magic believed that when he selected him with the 2nd overall. And when you were here the first time, you raved about the Lonzo that you saw back in AAU. What was the story you told about he got some kid a bunch of assists, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And I still believe in him, and I believe in his future, but I do not believe in what keeps happening at Staples Center especially. And the irony of this conversation is you sat there as the coach of the Phoenix Suns, and you watched him go for 29, 11, and 9 on a Friday night at Phoenix and just take the game over down the stretch and score 3 big buckets late, all with his left hand, one right up in Tyson Chandler's face. And that was the guy I expected to see on a fairly nightly basis, even at 19 or 20 years of age. But that was by far his best game, except for another away game at Milwaukee, in which he was the youngest ever to record a triple-double. And yet at Staples, it has been disastrous. And I can't defend it. I'm not going to try to defend it because the demon's got in his head with his shot, especially at home, and he just can't make it. And it goes from bad to worse, and he has lost confidence. And that poker face you talk about, he used to have like a good sort of arrogance about it, and now at home it has sort of a fear base to it. It looks like he's like starting to see deer in headlights before he shoots it, because he knows he needs to shoot it and he needs to make it. We all know he's got an unorthodox shot. It's been questioned. And Magic sat right there in your chair before the season started and said, we're not going to mess with it until after this year. But if it doesn't start going in this year, we're going to think about remaking the shot in the offseason. So there's something going on with him at home, because he doesn't play with the attack mode, with the aggression, with just the sheer confidence that I've seen him play with at UCLA and in the Summer League and at Phoenix in the second game of the year. And I don't get it.
I don't think you can mess with the shot in the middle of a season or beginning of the season. It's too late for that to happen. That is worked on and developed over the summer. One thing we know, and what we had with Devin Booker, we traded Markieff Morris. Devin Booker became our #1 guy at the age of 19. We looked at him and we told him, we cannot ask you to be great without first giving you the opportunity to fail. You are going to fail. You're 19 years old. You're a two-guard. We had no other options to score. When you fall, we will be there for you.
Okay.
And we develop the psyche. We will understand it's more than basketball. Whether we sit and we talk about life, we talk about what's going on in your personal life, we talk about what's going on in the game and what your mindset is every possession. You are going to be great. We go to Miami. He faces D-Wade, who he loves, and he goes for 30-plus.
Okay.
And then you've seen the switch go on. And that was in late February. So you have to understand with Lonzo, we have to give him the opportunity, and you have to understand we have to also let him know it's okay to fail, because your tenure as a Laker is going to be greater than the beginning of your career. And we understand, just be aggressive, and you have to have an attitude is I don't care what happens when I shoot this ball. I'm going to be dominant. I'm going to be aggressive. My personality is already in this team by the way we move the ball.
It is.
And everything else will continue to carry over.
But when you look at him right now, Earl, he doesn't have a second option of scoring points. His shot is unorthodox, so he's never going to shoot I don't believe with that shot the way it is, he will ever shoot a high percentage from the field because of its unorthodoxness. But he doesn't.
But remember, at UCLA, he shot 41% from three. So I know I've seen it go in before in big moments, in clutch college. It's college, but it's
But the thing is now, he's not driving the basketball, so he doesn't get to the free throw line. And people say, well, shooters shoot. Well, that works for Steph Curry. That works for Klay Thompson or JR. But that's not his game. He's not a volume shooter. He's not a shooter per se. And because he's not scoring, Skip, it's starting to affect other aspects of his game. They're minus 47 when he's on the court. They're plus 5 without him. I don't know how Luke Walton can give him more minutes. Maybe let Jordan Clarkson start. Maybe let him run with the second unit, gain a little bit more confidence, then reinsert him.
Never.
I agree.
Never. You can't do that because you can't ever take away. The worst thing you can do to a point guard is take away the basketball.
Okay.
If you take away a point guard's basketball, it's like putting a quarterback at a wide receiver. For one, he feels lost. And for two, he feels like you lost confidence in him. And we talk about the minus 47. I was KD teammate his first 2 years in the NBA, in Seattle, in OKC. He was the worst plus minus in the NBA. The worst, Kevin Durant. And we also have to understand and see it like this. You said he can't get to the free throw line. He has to attack the basket. I would tell Lonzo to play faster. Never walk the ball up the court.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Get deep outlets, free throw line extended, make or miss, and you drive the basketball. And you trust your instincts. You put pressure on the rim. You get to the rim, and then you get to the free throw. But then you start creating a mindset of I have no time to think, because I, Lonzo Ball, have lost myself into the game.
But He's 0 for 6 again. He's 1 from 9 from the 3. He's 0 for 8. He's 0 for 6. He keeps shooting threes. You look at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has realized I'm not a good three-point shooter, so I'm not going to take him. He's taking shots that he's not good at, though, Earl.
Yeah, I understand that he's 0 for whatever. I would tell him to be 0 for 20. The 0 for 9 is not enough.
No, that's in one game. This is one game.
Yeah, I'm saying just it's not enough in one game. You have to go 0 for 20. If you go 0 for 20, he's not going to go 0 for 20. He has to shoot 20 times a game.
No, that's too much, Earl.
No, but he's not going to do it. He's only going to give you 15. So, like, you give guys more room to be effective, knowing they're not going to reach that.
Right.
You're instilling confidence. Like, when I was coaching Devin Booker, I would tell Devin, hey, shoot 20-plus times a game. He wasn't doing it. I'm yelling it from the sideline. I had veteran players was like, I wish I had a coach to tell me to do that. Right. But what I was trying to create was a mindset in Devin Booker to be constantly aggressive, over-aggressive, and I understand he's such a good person, he's going to make the right play. He will never be selfish and shoot that many times.
Well, what if that's not his personality? What if you're asking him to become something that he's not?
Get to the rim, find a play, trust your instincts. Lonzo Ball is one of the greatest passers I've ever seen at his age. He's going to grow. As he matures, he's going to become a post-up player because of his height. And we compare him to Ben Simmons, and I think Philadelphia is on to something amazing and very intelligent just by default. They're sitting players their first year. They're drafting players, sitting them, 2 players in a row, Ben Simmons, Embiid, Ben Simmons, because they're hurt, and then Markelle.
Right.
But that year is going to prepare your body, your mind, and your workout and your shot. And your understanding of the game. You're watching film, you're getting the right nutrition, you're doing the right workouts, and you're building strength in your entire body for 82 games.
Which is why I told you I did not love it that Luke Walton, and now he's done it back-to-back games, he sat Lonzo 2 games back, and then he sat him again last night just in the fourth quarter. It should be his time. At some point, he has to figure out how to close the game. And if he hadn't closed one game all year, I'd say he's not capable. Did he not close your game?
He closed our game, and he did it in, great fashion, aggressive, attacking the rim. Like you said, jumping over Tyson Chandler, who is dominant at the rim. He's been a force his entire career. And you look back at another game from last night, you look back at Eric Bledsoe. So a point guard, to me, controls the flow of the game. We used to play against Steve Nash, and our coaches would come to the huddle, halftime, Steve Nash would have maybe 7 points. We go into halftime, he'd be like, we're doing a great job. I'm telling him, no, we're not. Steve is playing chess. He sees every counter, but he's going to wait to win the fourth quarter, the last 3 minutes. Because you know why? Coaches hate to lose timeouts. You can't make a counter. You don't want to waste it because you might need it to score at the end of a game. Right. So Steve would come the last 3 minutes and dominate the game, dominate the pick and roll, manipulate every counter he saw, and we didn't have enough timeouts to counter that defensively. And that's the mindset point guards have. So playing the fourth quarter is very beneficial and it's important because he has to learn how to win down the stretch. And maybe as a game where he goes into the end of the fourth quarter, 3 minutes or less, and he's struggling, but then he takes over like John Wall used to do, and now John Wall is the point guard.
And so you have lost no faith in Lonzo Ball's future?
None at all. 0.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're off tomorrow, but keep an eye out for a weekend edition of the podcast on Saturday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.